Good morning, everyone. Today, I stand here in front of all of you to talk about an issue that we all know about, but don't really take the time to think about. I'm talking about democracy. Democracy, the concept, has many different definitions, and based on the context of a state or a region, it differs. However, on a basic level, democracy is a political idea where people have the freedom to express their opinions freely, and there is a fair distribution of power between those who are in power and between those they choose those people into power. Democracy has been the desired political idea of the past century, but recently it has come under considerable criticism. Democracy, it is considered no longer being the desired political idea anymore. The article published by The Economist talks about what has gone wrong with democracy. It sheds light on why is it no longer a good political idea anymore. One of the main arguments that the article puts forward is that in the recent past, democracy has run into many problems. It has many loopholes, such that slow economic growth. And to further state its case, it gives the example of China, which has one of the fastest growing economies in the world today. China has one of the fastest growing economies of the world, even though it is governed by an authoritarian regime. The article points out the fact that China's model of government shows an alternative to form of political system that promises great economic growth. I agree with the article's assumption about democracy taking a good portion of time in making major decisions, thus hindering economic growth. But what I don't agree with is measuring the importance of democracy just on economic terms. Does having a democracy just relate to how well an economy is doing? Is it just about the economic growth? No, I beg to differ. I personally think that democracy is more than just a number on report sheets. So what sets a democracy apart is that it promises people freedom. The very fact that I have a right to stand here and raise my views and opinions is what makes a democracy unique. Take St. Olaf, for instance. It's a mini democracy in itself. The Ferguson case ignited a series of discussion and conversations among different groups, and people exercised their freedom of speech to talk about the social injustice and discrimination. It's a powerful tool, I would say. It gives people a platform where they can express their opinions freely without any fear. In most of the authoritarian and totalitarian regimes, the very basic right of freedom of speech is suppressed, which usually becomes the reason for a revolution. And because the people feel the need to express their opinions and they feel the need to be heard. Mahatma Gandhi wanted a democracy because he believed in a society where everyone had equal rights and everyone had the rights to express their opinions. All this entails is freedom, which I think is the single most valuable thing of democracy. The Arab Spring came about as a huge social movement because people realized and felt that the suppression of the regimes was overpowering them. These people rose up against these regimes because they were suffocated by the regime's constant pressure. Guyana Mofouk, who is an Algerian journalist, in the book Diaries of an Unfinished Revolution, talks about this young man who she once met and who gave her the reason for the revolution taking place. He said, "We demand to breathe, and that's enough demand in itself." It's a powerful statement that makes it more or less clear why people long for democracy. Freedom is what motivates people to make changes. And this motivation what makes democracy seem desirable. The Arab Spring was not able to achieve the goal that it was aiming for, but at least it's a first step towards democratization. At least now people have the right to express what they feel and how much they have suffered under the dictatorial regimes. Summing up now, I want to infer that even though China has a fast-growing economy and poses a major threat to the democratic states, it lacks the main essence of a free republic that democracy promises. Democracy promises not only freedom of speech, but freedom from fear, which I think is the major reason why it was and still is a desired political idea. Nelson Mandela, an advocate of freedom and democracy, once said, "To deny people their humanity is to challenge their very humanity." This quote says a lot. A state that has a fast-growing economy is good. But if it doesn't promise its masses the rights that they deserve, it is bound to run into trouble sooner or later. Thank you.